Hi, I'm Gavin Sharples and you're watching Risk Africa TV. Yes, I used to be a financial planner, but I'm better now. I'm in recovery. Yeah, I started out, one of my early things that I sold was I started getting involved. We didn't call them financial planners back then. We used the word, but we weren't really. We were just insurance salespeople. And we sold policies, but it sounded so much sexier to call it a financial planner. Meantime, we sold endowments, RAs, and life. That's basically what we sold. I really believed in the product. As I said on stage, I had one or two very serious payouts that I had to make to friends, basically friends' families. And I got hooked on this whole thing. That's why whenever anybody in the financial service industry give me a call and they say, listen, will you come speak to us? I say, number one, yes, I want to. And I can relate so much to what they do. And it's very important that they do a proper job. So it's kind of in my blood, and you must do it right, because if you do it right, then you're going to have a legacy of helping people. So that's very important to me. I basically was in a business. I went from financial planning into security, funny enough. I opened a business with a few friends, and then from there we managed to sell that business, and people started asking me, how did you do this? How did you do that in financial planning? How did you do this? How did you turn the business around in security and stuff? And I started giving talks, and one company heard about it, next one, eventually agents got hold of me, and 25 years later this is what I do, and it beats work. I didn't know I was having lunch with a business friend of mine, and he just sat down one day and said to me, oh, but you're an agitator. And I suppose most of the time people should be offended when that's, I thought I was very complimented. I thought I'm an agitator. I wanted to put it on my business card. And I don't know what it is, but I just love, you know, when everybody in the stream is going that way, I love to be the person who swims the other way. It just excites me. I love getting in people's faces and just giving them a little bit of a wake up. I didn't really know I could make a living doing it, but the cool thing is that, for example, I would do the reason this specific whole conference came about, I did a showcase, and Marius of Momentum was in the audience, and I started speaking about disturbing people and being disturbed and those calm waters where nothing happens, and we need waves. But most people say don't make waves, and I'm going, but that's where you can have fun, is in the waves. So I delivered a thing on being disturbed, but the buzzword in the business fraternity is disruption, and they always use Uber as the disrupting example, that type of stuff. But yeah, basically what it is, it's change. It's change, innovation, and creativity. And I've got a keynote based on it called Chinking, Change, Innovation, and Creativity. So I've been talking about change and disruption and disturbances for the last 25 years. The challenge we've got today is that everybody loves to talk about it, but very few people action it. Right now in this conference, I wanted to disrupt every single speaker's presentation. So what I decided to do was to just take an orb slide with an orb picture. It doesn't matter what, one's a flower, one's a fish, and just in the middle of their deck, no matter who you are, a guest speaker, internal or external, you just drop that slide in and get them to think on their feet. And it was vetoed. They said no. I said, but it's a disruption conference. Wouldn't that be cool? And I would then, at the mic, at the back of the room, say to them, build it into your presentation. Now, I believe most of the speakers we had here would have just flown with it. But the corporate mentality stepped in and went, no, we can't do that. That's my challenge. The challenge is we love to talk about change. We love to paint and put wallpaper on saying change. But behind it, very few people are scared because we're scared of the consequences.
Presentation yesterday?
Yes, I did, and no, I didn't. What I did was we had a meeting, and I said to him, if you want me to host this thing, if you stand up with PowerPoint and give a typical CEO's message, I don't want to be part of it. Keep your money. He said, what do you mean? And then I said to him, we've got to do something different. And I gave him a few ideas, but I must admit, I didn't give him that idea. When I got here yesterday, he called me in the room. He said, I've got this idea. And then he bounced the idea off that I must interrupt him and have this whole thing. The only thing we did was I wanted to make it look as natural as possible. So we did one rehearsal, just making sure that it wasn't overacted, because that's the problem when you don't. And it even worked better than I thought. I mean, when I heard the oohs and the ahs from the audience, they bought it. I mean, they were so... And when Marius ran up, we were supposed to call Marius, but he came up of his own accord, which meant That sold it more. Like Marius realized that I was interrupting the CEO, and Marius ran up, and it was, when I heard the oohs and the ahs, I thought, we've got these people. And then of course we came around to the thing. So it was brilliant, but mostly Hannes. He did all of that, and his presentation with the music was all Hannes, which shows me company's in good hands. If a guy can actually go from being an accountant, okay, an accountant's okay, just add alcohol. But if as soon as an accountant can do that, we're changing it. We're disrupting that industry. Yes and yes. Consult is because basically in the old days it was only me, only I, only our products. This is the way it's done. This is the rules. Consult is turning around and saying we're open to everybody. We've got this open policy. Let's make money. Let's help our clients. Let's put the clients first. Okay. The second part of your question was
the industry.
The industry. The industry has no choice. If you look at legislation, if you look at the way that the rules are changing to actually be, and the barrier to entry, it's moving and changing all the time. So there's two things. Companies who are embracing the disruption and being the disruption are the leaders. Everybody else is playing catch up. Disruption and change is going to happen whether you like it or not. Some people will try and fight it, some people but the thing about disruption and change, it's like this very slow moving, I don't know, it's almost like a planet. And what happens, it warns you, it says I'm coming. You're going to jump on and move out. Some people jump on moaning, some people hold on their fingernails and they moan. But change and disruption is funny. All it's going to do is, if you keep complaining and fighting it, just like fleas on a dog, it's going to go. And you know what? It's going to keep on. So whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. The thing is, if you want to be ahead of the curve, if you want to be successful, the idea is not only to embrace and adapt to the disruption, but be the disruptor. Just go to gavinsharples.co.za, my website is there. Everything we do is there. I've got a lady in the office, which I happen to be sleeping with. I always find it better to sleep with her help. My wife, who runs my business, she'll book you, and I do groups from as small as 3-4 people right up until big audiences of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Just get on there, find me on WhatsApp, find me on the internet, and on YouTube. I've got some clips. Anywhere, anytime, I'll go and I'll come and speak to your people.